A handshake by both congressional candidates Ginger Cruz and Michael St. start things off. For 90 minutes, both stood on the stage inside the Encore Theater at the Crown Plaza Resort in Tucson on Monday night. Cruz and St. taking questions from the news team.
How do you plan to effectively effectuate change and advocate for resources for our island as Guam's non-voting congressional delegate?
It's important to not think of our status as a non-voting delegate as a barrier, because Guam has a unique status. Guam can actually transcend so many different things precisely because we're not a state. And what we need to do is use it as an advantage.
When we have these partisanship divides, they're not something new necessarily that we need to come up with new solutions for. What we need to do is we need to make sure that when we're communicating with all parties, whether they're Democrat or Republican, that we're coming to the table as honest brokers.
We also need to get smart city technology so that we can put a barrier around Guam and get smart port technology so that we can interdict the drugs.
Because we got to engage with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, tell them what our problem is, get more agents here on the ground, because that's going to definitely beef up the enforcement and take these drugs off the street.
Questions also coming from community organizations like Guam Medical Association.
What will you do to ensure that the buildup doesn't impact the healthcare of Guam outside the fence?
There has to be an offset. For everyone that they take, they either have to be able to help us recruit and retain a doctor for the rest of us on the island. They have to be able to help us train more doctors and nurses.
On top of trying to make sure the federal government is going to be doing what it's supposed to do in matching and everything else, we need to make sure that we're vocal advocates. We're vocal advocates for making sure our local facilities are up to par and our local compensation scales are up to par.
Questions regarding the buildup by Prutehi Latexan.
Understanding of the military-industrial complex and its link to Congress, and how will you work to address the lack of transparency about the rapid militarization of our island and our inability to say no to the harms forced upon us?
But the history of the military-industrial complex is a sad one. They really have not done right by the communities that they've impacted over many decades of the past. Those historical grievances do need to be addressed, but I am glad that the science has improved, that the responsiveness has improved, and I want to keep moving us forward in that direction.
Transparency is important. I think we have to ensure through the Congress that the Oversight Committee and the opportunities for us to hold hearings in order to draw from the military the kind of information that we need so we are fully aware of what is happening to our island.
And women's rights in a question by the Guam Women's
Support
Chamber.
Policies that protect and uphold women's reproductive health rights, including access to comprehensive reproductive health care services, contraception, and safe and legal abortion.
I think that contraceptives are a part of making sure that everyone has access to good birth control, and that's important. My wife and I, our family, we're a pro-life family.
My entire life, a woman and her doctor have been able to make the decisions that are the best for her life. Absolutely. For all of the pro-life groups, advocate for that. Talk to your family and friends.
The candidates also touching on the public calls to remove President Biden as the Democrat nominee.
It is disappointing that the party had to get to this. I think the party should have spent more time developing better candidates and better solutions for everyone. And I think that the party will have to decide how it wants to go in the coming election.
I think that those calls are not unfounded, and anyone who says otherwise is towing a party line at the risk of losing credibility. I feel like that is an issue that really we could have seen coming.
Candidate Amanda Shelton declined to participate. Incumbent James Moreland was on official congressional business. Watch the full Congressional Forum on KUAM's YouTube channel.